On.
This is a lesson recap of Chapter 2.1. Chapter 2.1 has three important parts: describing yourself and others, subject pronouns, and the verb ser, to be. The critical question from this chapter would be ¿Cómo eres? ¿Cómo eres literally means how are you? However, the question is saying something a little bit more like, what are you like? Describe yourself. And so you could say soy, I am, and then the following adjectives: aburrido, boring; activo, active; alto, tall; antipático, mean or unfriendly; atlético, athletic; bajo, short; bonito, pretty; callado, quiet; cómico, funny; delgado, thin; extrovertido, extroverted; feo, ugly; gordo, fat; gracioso, funny, as in silly; guapo, attractive; intelectual, intellectual; inteligente, smart or intelligent; moreno, brown hair or brown skin; pelirrojo, red hair; perezoso, lazy; romántico, romantic; rubio, blonde; serio, serious; simpático, nice or friendly; tímido, shy; tonto, stupid; trabajador, hardworking. The golden rule of Spanish is something we learn in this chapter, and that is that everything must agree in both gender and number. Gender refers to the division between the masculine and the feminine, and they must match up with their subject. For example, I have the two adjectives here, both mean tall. Alto, ending in an O, because it needs to match up with the word he, masculine with masculine. Alta, the feminine form of the word, must match up with ella, meaning she, feminine and feminine. Number refers to the number of people that the word is describing. He is a singular word, and therefore alto is also singular. They, however, is plural, and so we must use the plural form altos. Every word or every adjective here that ends in an O has four forms: the masculine singular, the masculine plural, the feminine singular, and the feminine plural. Alto, altos, alta, and altas. This works for all the words that end in O. For example, simpático, nice, could be simpático, simpaticos, simpatica, or simpaticas. A few exceptions. We have one word that ends in an E, inteligente. This is actually a bit easier. You don't need to worry about gender for this one. Both the masculine and feminine forms are the same, inteligente. The plural form still need to add an S, though, to make it plural, inteligentes. If the word ends in a consonant, and we only have one that does, intellectual, once again, we don't need to worry about masculine and feminine, so that makes it a bit easier. However, if we want to make it plural, we can't simply add an S. We need to add an ES onto the end. Intelectuales. Thankfully, there are only two of those. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. Subject pronouns. Subject pronouns are words that take the place of a subject. For example, here I have the sentence, Jim is a good guy. In this sentence, the word Jim is my subject. If I wanted to replace Jim with a subject pronoun, I would say he. He is a good guy. Alex and I are hilarious. The subject here is Alex and I. And if I wanted to replace that with a subject pronoun, for Alex and I, that would be we. We are hilarious. Subject pronouns in Spanish are yo, tú, él, ella, usted; nosotros, vosotros; ellos, ellas, and ustedes. Yo meaning I, tú being the familiar form of the word you, él as in he, ella, she, usted, another form of the word you, but used in formal situations; nosotros being we, vosotros, y'all. This word is rarely used outside of the country Spain, but we still learn it just to have that in there. Ellos and ellas both mean they. With ellos, we would only use this word to refer to a group of males or mixed gender. So this is the one we use most commonly. However, if you were talking about a they that was all females, you would say ellas. And then ustedes. Ustedes means all of you or you all. One more time. Yo, tú, él, ella, usted, nosotros, vosotros, ellos, ellas, ustedes. Probably the most important chart that we will learn this year. A simple one, but an important one. A word about tú versus usted. Both of these mean you. However, you would use them in different situations. For example, with your mom, you can be a little bit more informal. So if you wanted to say you to her, you can use tú. But with the doctor, that's a more formal situation, somebody who's probably older than you and you should show a level of respect to, and therefore you would use usted. The verb ser, to be. Ser can't stay in its regular form to be. For example, I wouldn't say I to be a teacher. I would say I am a teacher. And so we change the word to be, or we conjugate it to suit a different subject. In English, I wouldn't say I be, but I would say I am. I change the verb. In Spanish, we do the same thing. So if I have my subject pronoun I, yo, the form of ser that suits I is soy. Yo soy. Tú eres, you are. Él es, he is. Ella es, she is. Or usted es. This would mean you, and in this case, we would translate that word as are. Nosotros, we. Somos, we are. Vosotros sois, y'all are. Ellos, ellas son, they are, or ustedes son, you all are. These two charts always correspond with one another. If we wanted to say we and the verb ser, we would say nosotros somos because they're in the same box. We would never say nosotros eres. Those don't match up. We couldn't say we, you are. We would just say we and then we are. And so yo always matches up with soy. Tú eres. Él, ella, usted es. Nosotros somos. Vosotros sois. Ellos, ellas, ustedes son. And that is a quick recap of what we learned in chapter 2.1.